Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'm going to do another case study for you. We're going to talk about how you can generate infinite returns in real estate. Okay. If you're watching this, you already know what we're going to talk about. If you've watched any of my other videos on the channel, you know the strategy we're talking about. But in my opinion, this strategy is one of the most lucrative real estate side hustles in today's market. You can't generate infinite returns in a lot of places. It's just the bottom line. So let's jump into it. Let me share my screen with you, and we'll talk about this case study of a deal that me and my team recently did. Okay. All right. You should be able to see a house on your screen now. Hopefully you can. Here's a picture of the house. So cash invested up front. How much money did we invest in this deal up front? The answer is $0. Okay. We did not buy this property, obviously. We're not wholesaling or acting as realtors, none of that. But we spent $0. That includes our expenses, okay, guys? So bear with me here. We're going to walk through this. So $0 cash up front. Time invested into the deal, around 10 to 20 hours. Okay, that's how much time we spent marketing, contacting our client, putting the deal together, getting paperwork signed, all that good stuff. Okay. Now, what was the end result of this deal? The end result was the following. My company received this check for a little over $22,000. Okay. Now, that amount does not include, that's not our take home. That $22,000 is not all of ours. Okay. So let me explain that. Our net profit on this deal was only $9,000. Okay. Still not a bad deal. I mean, $9,000 is nothing to sneeze at, right? What can you do with $9,000? Or how would an extra $9,000 help you and your family in today's environment? Would that benefit you? What would you do with an extra $9,000? Okay. So still not a bad profit. Now, you're probably asking, well, where did the rest of the money go? Number one, the majority of the funds went to our client, the ex-homeowner of that property that you saw. Okay. So again, we're helping our homeowners recover funds from properties that they lost. In addition to that, our expenses, our costs for this deal, which would include working with an attorney, those were paid once we got paid. Once we received the check, we then paid off our attorney, paid off our expenses and our costs associated with the deal. So that's why our net profit is only $9,000. Does that make sense? Because all of our expenses were paid when we got paid. So again, that means $0 were invested up front to do this deal. Our attorney did not take an upfront retainer. We paid him once we got paid, and all our other expenses got paid on the back end. That makes sense? So again, $0 were invested to do this deal. Now, going back to what I talked about in the beginning of this video, infinite returns, right? What does that mean? Let's define that. Infinite return, guys, is when you make money or you receive income without having to spend any of your own money. Okay, let me say that again. An infinite return is when you make money without having to spend any of your own money. That is an infinite return. Okay. To calculate your return, you just take your net profit. So in this case, $9,175.15. Divide that by the amount of money you invested into the deal to get your ROI, return on investment. Well, remember, how much did we invest? $0. We invested $0 up front. So divide your net profit by the amount invested, 0. Well, you can't divide by 0. In other words, that is an infinite return when you make money without having to spend your own. Does that make sense, guys? Is that clear on that? Hopefully. Is there power in that concept? I personally think there's power in that concept. Hopefully you see the power in that as well. Because here's the thing. Now, there are plenty of real estate strategies. There's plenty of ways to make money in today's world, right? There's no shortage of business ideas. There's no shortage of jobs. I mean, maybe there's some in some areas where you live, there's some shortages, but there's opportunity everywhere. However, how many other opportunities do you know of where you can make money without having to spend money as far as investment opportunities? I don't know of many of those. Usually, if you want to make a return, you got to put some money out there, right? Especially in real estate. Like, let's be real. If you want to do real estate, if you want to buy a property and fix it up, well, there's the key word, right? You got to buy it, meaning you have to have money or you have to have access to money. And if you don't, well, what do you do? And I know that feeling all too well, because when I worked as a corrections officer, I made less than 40K a year. And after I paid my bills, I didn't have jack diddly left over. So I had to figure out a way to get involved in real estate that didn't require a lot of money. And that's why I love this strategy. That's why I love surplus funds. Okay. All right. Enough of that. However, let's talk about our return on investment for our time, right? Because we had to invest our time, and time is, I would argue, time is more valuable than money itself. Because once time is gone, you can't get it back, right? We're all going to die. We all have a limited amount of time, whereas money, well, they just keep printing more of it. So there's money everywhere. And if they ever run out, they'll probably just print more. At least this government. So what was our return on investment for our time? Okay. Well, let's figure out what our hourly rate was. If we invested 20 hours of our life to do this deal, if we invested 20 hours of time to get that 9,000, what did we get paid on an hourly basis? So divide the profit by 20 hours. That gives us an hourly rate of $458.75. Not bad, right? Pretty good hourly rate. If you make $458 an hour at your current job or business, frankly, I don't know why you're watching this video and why you would watch this video. You should just keep doing what you're doing, because that's a great hourly rate. That's awesome. I don't know many jobs that pay that well, okay? That don't require some sort of advanced learning or degree or spending years at college or spending time going up the corporate ladder, okay? Now, if we only spent 10 hours, what would that be as far as hourly rate goes? Well, net profit divided by 10, $917 an hour. That's stupid. When I started working at the prison, I started out at $16 an hour. When I left, I think I was at around $21 an hour. How much does your job pay you per hour? How would your life be different if you could do work where you were helping someone and you could make between $400 and $900 an hour? How would your life be different? How would it look different? What would you do with the extra income? Like, let me know below in the comments, because I'd be interested to see. I mean, I can share with you how it's been different for me, you know, not having to go to a job that I hate, waking up whenever I want. I don't set alarms anymore. I don't have to deal with rush hour traffic anymore. I work from home. My problem now is not being able to spend enough time with my family, but sometimes I spend too much time and I get distracted and You know, sometimes I just want to hang out with my two boys. But here's the crazy thing is anybody can do this. Anybody can learn this skill. It doesn't take you years of climbing the corporate ladder. It doesn't take you an advanced degree. It doesn't take you, you know, you don't have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to become a doctor or a lawyer or some, you know, high paying professional. Anybody can do this. If they simply invest in themselves, take the time to learn the knowledge, and then go out and do the work. Now that's the separator right there, is you do have to work, guys. You have to work at this. You aren't getting paid to do nothing. You have to work. You have to provide a service to people in order to generate infinite returns, in order to generate a high hourly rate. You know, if it's $400 or $900 an hour or anywhere in between. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe you only make $200 an hour on a deal. If you only made $200 an hour, would it still be worth it to maybe take a look at a strategy like this and maybe take some time to learn it? And maybe take some time once you do learn it to actually implement it? I mean, I know a lot of you guys are following me and you've seen a lot of my other videos. And some of you are already involved in this. And if you are, share us your results. Let us know how you've been doing. And maybe you're still in the startup phase. Maybe you haven't got that first deal. It takes time. It takes time. First one's always the hardest. For those of you that know about this strategy or have known about it, but you haven't gotten involved yet, I would like to ask you, what is your reason for not getting involved? What is your reason for not starting? If you have if you have an opportunity that maybe pays better per hourly than this opportunity, please let me know, or please let us know in the comments below, because we would all like to learn about that. For real, seriously. But if you don't know of any opportunity, what's holding you back? Why haven't you jumped in? Because again, going back to, I mean, this is one deal. What if you did one deal like this every single month? How would that change your life? Let me know in the comments below. Because here's the bottom line, guys. This strategy changed my life. It really did. And it's changed the lives of many of my students. So if you see the potential, if you see the opportunity, but you haven't yet seized it, my question would be why? And if the reason is, well, I can't invest in myself, I need money to do that, there is a abundance of money. How many trillions of dollars were printed this last year? How many resources have I posted in other videos where you can go and get that money? What can you do to earn it? See, there's no shortage of opportunity, guys. It's what we have a shortage of is people taking action and people not willing to do the work. If you're just willing to do the work, you're in the top 10% minority, actually less than that. Here's how I know this. So I recently did a video, a training I recently did a training telling people how they can become a top 5% income earner. Okay. Top 5% income earner in the US is if you make 300K a year, you're in the top 5%, excuse me. I on my end, I posted it late. There wasn't a lot of notice, so that's my fault. I admit that. But I sent that video out. I sent the invitation to join that training to a list, an email list of over 30,000 people. I posted the video here on my YouTube channel, which has over 10,000 subscribers. And I also posted the invite into a Facebook group that has over 3,000 people. So the invite went out to over 40,000 people to come and learn what you need to do to become a top 5% income earner. The invite was presented and given to over 40,000 people. Guess how many people showed up to the actual training? Less than 100. Less than 100. Now, I understand, like, I have a very monotone voice. I'm a boring person to listen to. But guys, like, the reason people can't get where they want to go, or they can't succeed or get what they want, most people just aren't willing to show up for themselves. Or most people think everything is a scam, and they're so skeptical that they don't even give themselves a chance to win. And so the point of this video, I hope, is to bring some awareness. And hopefully you're not in that category of being in your own way to reaching what you want and getting where you want to go. Because most people are in their own way. Most people won't even show up. Most people will not take the time. Most people won't be willing to invest in themselves to increase their knowledge and their skills so that they can become a person of more value. And when you become a person of more value, you can do more for others, you can serve more for others. And when you can do that, subsequently, you make more money. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are and your skills and your knowledge. And then there are those who they'll invest in their knowledge, but then they have these fears that keep them from actually implementing the knowledge and doing the work. And then there are those who, a step higher, they actually do the work, and then they see another opportunity and they go chase that, and they stop doing what was working. And so that's why there are so few people that actually get to that point where they want to be. I apologize, guys, that this video was not meant to be a rant. That was completely off the cuff, but it is the truth. I hope it serves some of you out there. I hope it helps some of you wake up and get out of your own way. And hopefully you can join us. And for those of you that don't want to join us, keep watching the videos and keep doing what you're doing. If it's working for you, then great. If it's not, maybe ask yourself, why are you continuing to do things that aren't bringing you what you want in life? All right. Good grief. I'm sorry, guys. That was a rant and a half. Sheesh. Sometimes I need to do those because you can only, here's the thing, guys, you can only talk about the checks and the glory and the so much, like, but sometimes there needs to be some real moments, and I try to keep it real with you guys, okay? And some of y'all just are in your own way, and you need to get out of your own way. All right, so recap. What did we talk about? Well, in this video, we talked about how to generate infinite returns. We also talked about how to figure out your hourly rate of return. You know, how much are you getting per hour with the time that you're invested. On this deal, we made between $450 an hour and $900 an hour. I don't keep track of how many hours I spend on per deal, guys. I work from home, and it's not like I have a spreadsheet where I say, well, I worked this day from this hour to this hour. I don't do that. That's just not my cup of tea. But all I know is between 10 and 20 hours were invested in this deal to get it done. This was the result. Net profit, $9,000. All our costs and expenses came out of the back end. They came out when we got paid. You can always pay your expenses up front. Sometimes you may have to pay money up front, and that's okay. If we had to pay the attorney $1,000 up front or $2,000 up front, you know, what would our return have been? Well, let's just say 1,000 divided by 9,175. Times 10. That's not right. Well, minus what we invested. I'm sorry. So if we did 9,175, but we paid 1,000 up front, then that gives us a net of 8. Divide that by the amount of money we spent. So an 8x return. Or if you want to put it in a percentage, an 800% return. That's if we had to spend $1,000 up front. So I stand by my statement that this is one of the most lucrative real estate strategies that you can be doing in today's market. If you're new to the channel and this is the first video you have watched, well, then you can go check out our training. There's a link below in the description, in the comments, or just go to overagesyndicate.com and you can learn the 5 steps of how to do deals like these. All right, guys, rant over. Hopefully you learned something. If you found some value, share, like, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks, guys.